Hey friends, welcome to Cakes and Conversations. It's just a very quick recipe of a Swiss meringue buttercream. This is 6 egg whites and 300 grams of sugar. I am just whisking it continuously over a double boiler so that it is very safe to consume the eggs. We do not consume raw eggs because there are chances for allergic reactions. So the safest temperature to consume the eggs is it should be above 150 degrees. So we are heating it in double boiler because we don't want to cook the eggs, but we just want to bring it above that temperature. So we are kind of whisking it continuously so that it doesn't cook and it's not even raw. We would be making a meringue of this. Since it's a Swiss meringue recipe, so this is how we do it. In the Italian meringue, we pour the hot boiling syrup over the egg whites, but I'm doing this way because this is much simpler and doesn't need any thermometer. We also want the sugar to be dissolved, otherwise the frosting would be very grainy. So to make it like a cloudy frosting, no grit frosting, we need the sugar particles to be dissolved. So if you see, when I mix, I get to know that there's still sugar particles in this. It shows on the walls of the bowl. Once the sugar particle is dissolved, we will transfer this bowl and the whisk to the stand mixer, and we'll beat it till stiff peaks and the bowl is cold to touch. I've transferred it to the stand mixer and we will whisk until it is stiff peaks, and also when the bowl is cold to touch, because it's pretty hot now because of the double boiler. And as you know, when making Swiss meringue buttercream, we also are left with egg yolks. So these are 6 egg yolks. I will show you a French meringue buttercream recipe next, so that you don't waste your egg yolks next time. So if you see, it's already doubled the volume. We wait for some more time because the bowl is still warm. We want it completely cold, which will also, it's basically that's how we tell that the egg whites have cooled down, so that it's time to add the butter. If we add the butter when it's still hot, your frosting will be very soupy, very melty, because the butter would melt with the heat of this. So we'll wait till this is cold enough, and then we will start adding the butter. So here it is, stiff peaks ready now. The bowl is also very cold to touch. I will now start adding the butter in this. We are adding 450 grams of butter, tablespoon by tablespoon. I will not be able to record the whole thing because I am mixing with one hand, and I'll be operating the stand mixer and the butter. Let me still try. The butter is softened to room temperature. You can use tablespoons, or you can use anything. I'm using my hands directly. Love is in the hands. So I just put by my hands. Wash your hands cleanly, like nicely, and then do this. I just do it this way, so that's a tablespoon for me. We'll do this until we finish the butter completely. So I have 50 grams already added, This is 200 grams and this is 200 grams. So I'll add a total of 450 grams to this recipe because I told you this is 6 egg whites, 300 grams of sugar and 450 grams of butter. So once I finish this, I'll show you how the frosting looks like. Here I've added all the butter. We are whisking this at a very low stage because I don't want to incorporate any air bubbles in the frosting. So it's not fast, it's basically on stage 2. I think there are 10 stages in this stand mixer, so this is just stage 2. So since the speed is low, it will take its own time to incorporate. So there are stages in the buttercream. It becomes soupy first. I think it's already soupy, and after that it breaks down and then it comes back together. So it's kind of already soupy. I am not sure if I'm able to show it to you, but I can see only particles separating, so it's gonna separate now. Want any air bubbles, so if you see, that's why the frosting has a little bit gloss, it has a shine. I don't know if you can see, but if you see the edges of the bowl, you will see that there's a bit of shine in the frosting. It's because there's no air bubbles in this, and that's what we don't want while piping as well. Also, since the quantity is a lot, that's why also it will take a bit of time. So if you see, can you see that there's a gloss in the buttercream? It's because of that. No air bubbles. I'm not sure if you can see. If you see, there is a bit of roughness in the buttercream because it's already breaking down. Since it's a large quantity and I'm whipping it on low, you might not be able to see the way much difference, but yes, there would be a difference in the final frosting. So if you see that it's kind of very, you will see that it is basically rough, not smooth and kind of gritty, and this is what it is when it is breaking down. I think here it's a better view. Yeah, this final frosting has a completely different look. So let's go ahead and see. Okay, so this is how it's breaking down. This is a better view. At this stage you will see, oh my god, I've ruined the frosting, but no, hey wait, it'll come back. Just wait, keep whipping it. You also might get this stage when you have a leftover buttercream which is in the freezer or in the fridge and it's quite chilled, and it is not, when you start whipping it, you see this happens. This because is basically, and you might see that it's leaving out water. This is because that the frosting wasn't brought to room temperature completely. There are still solid butter particles in it. It's cold, some from somewhere, some places, and some outside. It is like the outside portion melts down first. Softens down first, and then last is the center portion. So you were too quick to whip it, so the center portion was still cold. This is when you might also find that it breaks down. Okay, so that point of time you just need to put a hair dryer here at a hot temperature and keep whipping it, so your buttercream comes back, or a hot water towel. Anything works, or a blowtorch, just for some time, not for, you don't keep it so much, just keep on moving like this, so you will get back your buttercream. If you see there what's water on the sides, it will all go away. It'll all go away. I'm just waiting for some time because I can still see water on the sides and the buttercream sliding down just a bit more. I cannot move it on high speed, otherwise I will again incorporate air bubbles. There is no air bubbles in the frosting. You can do this stage in the last, like you can whip it fast and you can make the buttercream, and the last 20 seconds you can do a very small slow speed, you know, but I don't like that. I mean, I prefer doing it this way because at that point of time there is still some air bubbles there in the frosting. I just prefer it doing it in a slow way. I know it does take time, but I think patience is the key to get a perfect frosting. So that's how the frosting looks like. And if you see in the frosting, if I zoom in, sorry, there's no air bubbles. It's like a clean, smooth finish. Same here. If you see there's no air bubbles, I mean, you get to know from here, from this plain parts, and the frosting is ready. We can add any flavor at this point of time, so you can add some melted chocolate, you can also add a vanilla essence, you can add strawberry puree, anything that works well for you. So here's the frosting. Thank you so much for watching.